S saga. Now let's look at what the three S stand for. The first one is salary, the second one is scholarships, and then comes stipend. Now you might all already know what salary is, but I'll read it out anyway. It's the compensation received by an employee from an employer in exchange for services rendered. And as for a scholarship, it's a financial grant awarded to students based on academic achievement, financial need, or talents. And a stipend is predetermined amount paid to offset expenses during training, internship, or researches. Now, what's the purpose behind all these three S's? The purpose behind salary is payment for the services rendered to the employer. And as for scholarships, it's to meet the cost of education, which might include the cost of things like books, tuition, etc. And stipend, it's to offset certain expenses during training or education. It's basically the money you receive in order to carry a particular task out. The recipient behind all these three S's. For salary, it's employees in an employer-employee relationship. For scholarships, it's students, researchers, individuals pursuing education. And for stipend, it's trainees, interns, students during educational pursuits. Employee-employer relationship. Now, it only applies to salary because there's of course an employer and an employer. So for salary, it's essential as it implies a formal work arrangement. It isn't applicable in scholarships as they're given by universities and places, etc., where you don't really have an employer-employee relationship. And as for stipend, it's not as necessary because it's often associated with educational institutions or training programs. Control and direction. Now, this part deals with who controls what the money is used for and where it goes. So in the case of salary, employer exercises control and supervision over the work. In the case of scholarships, there's no control or direction over the recipient's studies. Basically, the amount is spent for the studies, and however, the study is up to the one receiving the amount. And for stipend, there's limited control, focuses on training or educational requirements. Now, examples for these three are, an example for salary is regular employment income paid to professionals working in various fields. For scholarships, it covers educational costs like tuition, books, and fees. Supports students' educational endeavors. And for stipend, it's earned in medicine, law, and even professors engaged in research. Now, let's just take a look at our monthly expenses. It might include things like school supplies such as textbooks, electronics, and even rent, groceries, dining, travel, gym memberships, etc., and other stuff like household goods, phone, internet, etc. Yeah. And transportation is also included in it, as well as utilities such as electricity, water, and gas. And while deposits into savings account isn't exactly an expense, but it is still something you need to keep some amount separate for. So you should also take that into consideration along with the other expenses. Right, thanks.